How are you? We would like to greet you. This is Mila Kunis, and my name is Shari Simpson, and I am a children's book author and a screenwriter, which means that I write movies and television. So what I'm going to talk to you about today is the difference between writing a book and writing a movie. Have you ever read a book and you loved it so much, and then you went to see the movie version of it and you were like, they ruined it? They left all my favorite parts out. Or have you ever seen a movie and loved it and then went back to read the book that the movie was based on and you're like, oh, this is so different. Why is it so different? That's what we're going to talk about today. So when you're writing a book and you're writing a movie, you're telling a story, but the way you tell the story is so different. So let's talk about the three things that are different between writing a book and writing a movie. Number one, length. The average middle grade novel, which is what you're reading, is about 55,000 words. Maybe takes you 5 or 6 hours to read, and it's probably like between 250 and 300 pages. The average movie script, which is the written part that they film from, is about 20,000 words and maybe 110 pages, and it should only run maybe 90 minutes to maybe 2 hours. So that's a big difference, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of your favorite parts from your book get left out in the movie. Number two, storytelling type. A movie is visual storytelling. Have you ever heard the phrase, actions speak louder than words? That's right, because what you're seeing on a movie screen is the outside life of your characters, what they're doing, what they're saying, what they want. A book is the inside part of a character. You're hearing what the characters are thinking, their inner thoughts and everything they're thinking. Now, if you heard that in a movie, that would be kind of strange, right? If like the thoughts of a character were like floating out of their heads. Number three, how you're receiving the story. When you open a book, that is the finished product. That is something that the author has been working on forever. It's done. It's complete. When you get it, they're not going to change it. When you get a movie script and you're going to read it, and how many of you had read a movie script? Probably not many, if any, because movie scripts aren't really meant to be read. A movie script or a screenplay is a blueprint for the actual movie. It's kind of like if you were going to paint a beautiful picture and you wanted to know what you were going to put in it, you might do a little sketch first, right? Little outline with a pencil. Say, oh, I want the dog over here and the tree over there and the sun right there. And then when you go to make the painting, there's so much color, there's so much detail. It's the finished product. And that's what happens with the movie script. When you get it, it's like a plan for what the movie is going to be later on. And then you have to add in the actors and the director and the filming and the editing. So it's a very different thing. So today we're going to do something fun. I'm going to read a short passage to you from my book, Sam Saves the Night, and I'm going to show it to you on the screen so that you know what it looks like on the page. And then I'm going to show you how you would write it in a movie script. Okay. This should be fun. Putting on my glasses now. What do you think, Mila? Sam Saves the Night. Chapter 1. Hey, freak! Wake up! It's not unusual for an older brother to be a bit nasty to a little sister. But in this particular case, the rude wake-up call was due to the fact that this little sister was holding a chainsaw, which was running, and she was standing on the deck of a half-built treehouse in a 40-foot tall northern red oak in the middle of the night in a strange neighborhood, all of which was unusual. Through sleep-fogged eyes, Sam could see her mother shouting something too, but Margie wasn't as loud or as ticked off as Jax. It would probably help if the saw was turned off, but Sam wasn't completely coherent yet. Besides, she had one bare foot on the deck and one slippered foot precariously poised on a tree limb, and the only thing that seemed to be keeping her balanced and upright was the blade whizzing through a 2x4. In the remaining 3.6 seconds she had before the board split and she plunged 20 feet to the ground, decapitating herself and probably her mother, brother, and the family pug, Wheezy, to boot, Sam assessed her situation and came up with jump, which she did. backwards, dragging the chainsaw cord, hoping she had sleep-built enough treehouse to catch her. Now let's talk about how we would make this into the first page of a movie script.
Okay, so what you're seeing here is a page in the screenplay for Sam Saves the Night. The first thing you're going to notice is something called the slug line, which is the first line, and it tells you where the action is happening and at what time. It says EXT, that means exterior, outside. Okay, exterior, a street in the New Jersey suburbs, night. And then you're going to have your little action section, which sets the scene. It tells you what you're hearing, what you're seeing, who's in the scene. Crickets. Then the faint buzz of an electrical saw. Suddenly, Jax, 16, buff, and Margie, 40s, anxious, both in pajamas, dash around the corner. Margie carries a chubby pug, Wheezy. And then, of course, you have your dialogue. Jax points. There! Margie gasps. Oh my God! Action again. They run over to a yard. The whine of the saw gets louder. Margie, a strangled cry. Sam! They stop at the base of a huge tree. Look up. Wheezy barks. Jax. Hey, freak! Wake up! And now you're going to notice that in this action line, we get something a little strange. It says pan up. That is a direction for the camera. The camera would pan up from Jax and Margie and move all the way up to where we would see the tree house. It's sort of a thing for the director or the actors to kind of tell them what we'll be seeing next. And for the audience, this is what you would be seeing. Pan up to a half-built treehouse where we see Samantha Sam Fife, 13, eyes glazed over, wearing pajamas and holding a running circular saw. She jerks awake, jumps backward, and drops the saw, which plummets toward the ground. Sam, Margie, and Jax. Ah! Sam lands on her back on the deck. Margie, Jax, and Wheezy land on their backs on the ground. The saw bangs against the tree trunk and turns off. Again, we hear crickets. So this is basically what you would see in the screenplay for Sam Saves the Night. You'll notice that it tries to imitate the rhythms and what you're seeing, what you would be seeing on the screen. Everything is short, punchy. There's not a lot of description. It really is just a sketch for what you're going to actually be filming, what people are going to be acting, and it just kind of gives the overall view of what will be happening once they start shooting the movie.
So remember, the next time you go to see a movie based on your favorite book, don't expect it to have all the fun little details that you loved so much, but it's still a great way to tell a story. So is a book. So is a movie. They're just different. Thanks, guys.